think it's from yours. I'm like, I can't name it the round table. I heard that. Why is it
I
saying this
wondered about
was
that.
deleted? It looks like this broadcast was deleted. Try
We
creating.
are live.
It's saying we're live, and it's saying too it's that we're deleted. So we're not deleted. We are live. So welcome
We
everybody
are.
here. We are the LinkedIn experts, and we didn't even know how to go live.
Yeah, live isn't quite as simple as it looks a lot of the time, right? There is just buttons everywhere. There are banners, there's buttons, and yeah, it's crazy. But so excited to be here with you. Thank you, Susan, for inviting me. This is awesome.
Yes, you're very welcome. And today I have with me Michelle Raymond from our foreign country over there in New Zealand. Thank you for being with me today.
Yes, and I'm actually in Australia. I'm in Sydney. So I know.
My clients. I'm losing it.
No, I know, but we all sound the same, people tell us. So, yeah, and it's realistically, it's just over the ditch, as we say. So it's not too far away.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking New Zealand. Who knows where I'm going with my.
Same.
Michelle is a LinkedIn business page expert, and she has lots of different strategies, and we both have lots of different ideas on LinkedIn and have been doing it differently. So it's going to be fun packed with tons of information. So I think we'll start at the top with your profile.
Yeah, for sure.
Why don't you give us your spin on the triangle, and then I will elaborate on that because I love it.
Look, for me, I've always got an opinion on things. And for me, about profiles, I call it the holy triangle. It's about your headline, your banner, and your photo. If you nail those three things, I think you're good to go, and not too many other people spend too much time on the rest of the profile. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that they look at anything else?
I think that the first thing they do, they have 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds. They look at your profile pic. It has to be good. It can't be a picture of you at a Halloween party. Your banner photo, it depends on who you are and what you do. I mean, if you're a company, you may have regulations, but if you're a consultant like us, they want to see us working with people. They want to make you an authority. So that's how that will happen. And it's your tagline, and it's about how you help people. It's not about you.
I think it's really interesting because I commented on somebody else's post the other day, and they were talking exactly which is the hardest part to nail. And I said photo, because like you just said there, and maybe it was just subconscious that we all choose it, but I think we definitely look at the photo, then go to the other areas, the shiny lights. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't, go straight for the photo and then work my way around, probably to the bright colors of a good banner, and then the tagline, just to see what they're all about, right? So yeah. I think there's a lot of emphasis put on the about section. I think that comes further down the sales path when someone's really close to making that decision before they hand over their money. I think they go and look at that, and with the new creator mode pushing that about section further down, it's really interesting. LinkedIn's dynamic, right? It's always changing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and my spin on the about section, it's the first 3 lines that you want to make sure that you've made yourself an authority. And it's about metrics. It's about, this is how many people I've helped. This is what I've done for them. And then if they want to read more, they'll click more. And if they see they already think you're an authority, then they're already going to contact you.
Yeah, and it's like on a post, right? Those first 2 lines before you press see more are the most critical. So the same in the about section. You've got a couple of lines there to really make it count. Otherwise, if you put all the good stuff down in the body of the text, then no one's going to see it. So yeah, I'm with you, Susan. Make those first few lines count for sure.
Yeah, and it's not about your title. It's about who you help and how you serve them.
Yeah, because that's what people are looking for, right? How can you help me? How do you solve my challenges? What have you got that's going to make my life easier? And how do you go around it? So yeah, that's what we're on there for sure.
Yep, that's the meat. It's how you're going to attract people, and instead of repel them. We want to attract them to our profile. We don't want to repel them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because there's plenty of other places they can go in the end, and it's really hard to stand out in a pretty big pond of 756 million people on LinkedIn. If you want to stand out, then, there's a bit of work to be done to make sure that, you've got those hook lines working for you.
Yeah, definitely. So now I think we'll go to the next piece is once you actually connect with somebody, and I'll stop with the connection request because your connection request is really should be simple because no one wants to know what you do and what you have to offer and how many titles and degrees you have before you even. So you don't walk into a networking event and say, "Hi, I'm Susan. I have an MBA and I can 10x your sales and I can do this for you. Do you want to talk to me?" Right?
Yeah, keep it simple, I think, is it. But I often just also highlight what they can expect from my content and connecting with me, just in a very simple couple of lines, just so that they know, hey, I'm not about to slam you with something that I'm trying to sell you something, even though I love sales, been doing it for over 20 years now.
Mhm.
I love sales, but I'm not going to do it in that very first connection message. Have some patience.
No.
Definitely have some patience. No, vomiting everything that you've done in that first little message. Although I did laugh, I saw a post yesterday that someone said where a connection message was, I want to connect with you so that I can pitch my product that I want to sell straight away. And so they made a joke of it. And I thought that was really well done, to address, that elephant in the room. And the humor in that, I think, got the attention. So yeah, but don't do it.
Don't do it. No. And I go as far as to say that in the message, once they do connect with you, it's not about you and it's not about what you offer. It's about getting them to engage. And if you can't get them to engage and answer a question for you, I teach using emotional intelligence. I teach a statement and a question because if they don't answer you, then you did
It's
the
game
one.
over.
Game over.
Yeah. Look, and I teach the same when I'm talking about content, because if you end in a statement and not a question, you're talking at someone, you're not inviting them to have a conversation with you. You're almost condescending in tone or dismissive of their opinion. And I think that creates a space that's why people don't get comments, and that's why people come to me and they're like, Michelle, I don't get anything back. What's going on? And we have a look and I'm like, you're talking at them, you're talking at them, you're talking at them. You didn't ask them to comment, and it can be something just a simple change from a statement to a comment, a question, just like you've said. I do it in content and you're doing it in the messaging, which I think is an awesome idea.
That is actually very true. It can be relate to content. Yeah. And like I said, it's about asking them a question that's about them, not about you. Because if they're not going to answer a question about you, they're going to answer. You ask them a great question about something that you read in their profile really quick, they're going to answer you.
Yeah, and because it shows that you care, and it's important not to do it just for the sake of doing it. It's got to be genuine because people can smell. The worst thing I found, I had it happen to me recently. Someone went to the trouble, they read my profile, pulled out something, and I got excited because I was like, okay, it's personalized, it's all about me. And then they did the obligatory personalized question, then bang. And I was like, whoa, we were just having a little chat about what I do. How did it was, one step away from the, connect and pitch. We had one more step where they asked me a question and then it was straight back into sales. And again, like you said, we don't do it out offline at trade shows or industry events. So why do it on LinkedIn? And this person actually got really upset when I pushed back at them because, they were all about, I'll get you leads and I'll grow your business. And I was like, I'll teach you how to use LinkedIn if you like, because this is not it. We are not forming a relationship.
Yeah. So I definitely turn a lot of those around. What's interesting is they don't even know if you have that problem. What if you're already killing it? They don't know. So why are they saying something they don't even know that you want?
Yeah, it was almost like it was so, I don't know if it was automated. It certainly felt automated. It was like, I'm going to go step 1, 2, 3, 4, or if not automated, let's get the, virtual assistants, to do all the work for us. And they follow 1, 2, 3, 4. And, that's the problem. When you start moving away from customized for individuals, it feels fake. And if you break trust, how do you get it back, Susan? I don't think you can in a digital world.
No, I don't think that you can at all. Yeah, you have to be very careful. And like I said, if you can't uncover a need or a problem, they're never going to become your client anyway.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not about getting a client. It might be someone that you found interesting, but, again, and they can add total value. Like you and I have met. I'm probably not going to be your client or vice versa, but we add so much value to our network. And I think it's important to have others in your network where you can, leverage off their knowledge and bounce ideas off each other. I mean, that's my favorite part of LinkedIn is learning from so many amazing people that have learned things from different experiences. No matter what conversations I have, we're all doing LinkedIn so differently, but successfully. It's fascinating for me.
Yeah, totally different. So I think we've killed messaging, and hopefully everybody got some nice nuggets with that to actually have a real conversation like you're at a networking event.
I mean, it sounds so crazy. What's a networking event? Do we remember those? Like, I almost got to go to one this week, and then it was due to start at 1 p.m. 12:30, we had to cancel it. I was so close. COVID breakout here in Sydney, so back to restrictions again we go. And this is the whole thing, right? It's happened over the last 12 months when old school selling methods, we've had to adapt, just as much as everyone else in the workplace, because customer visits have been, canned a lot of the time here in Australia. We've also had, our international guests that would often come out. They're not here. Our trade shows are cancelled. Our industry events are cancelled. So what are people doing? You got to get good at LinkedIn. I agree with you, Susan, on this one. You've got to get good at it.
You definitely have to, because it's definitely here to stay, one. And two, we've seen it has definitely over the last year become more important and more part of your process. It doesn't have to be everything in your process, but it definitely can be. It's, direct to someone's, I would say it's almost like a direct phone connect. It's direct to their inbox. It's not their email,
Yeah.
it's not their business phone where they can get rid of you. It's their message. It's direct to them.
And the chances of you actually getting a response on LinkedIn are so high. It's been my favorite thing. Like I said, I didn't know it was called social selling 7 years ago. I just thought it was a great way to reach people that I wouldn't otherwise be able to connect with in the industry I came from. And then I realized I could reach people in the US or Europe, and they would answer, and there was no gatekeeper, there was no travel restrictions, there was no budget requirements. It was, hi, I can see that we share a common interest. What do you think about this? And people would be so generous if you were respectful, if you're not spamming them, and I got so much market intel from around the world about what's coming, because sometimes it takes info a bit longer to get down here to Australia. So, the trends are set in the US or Europe, and then they filter their way down here eventually. And I was able to get in front of that, which gave me such a competitive advantage to, in the industry I came from. So yeah, you got to get good at it. And it's such an opportunity to connect with people. I love it.
Yeah. So let's get to maybe, I don't know how long stories has been around, but it's fairly new.
Yeah.
And stories are obviously on Instagram and Facebook, and I don't use any of those. So I'm going to defer that one to you because I need to learn.
Yeah, look, short video forms of, 20, 30 seconds, be it even on TikTok, we've seen the rise of that platform be absolutely ginormous. Instagram stories, we've got reels, I think it's shorts on YouTube, like, short video formats are just taking off. And I think they're growing 15 times faster than any other type of content. Now, does that carry across onto LinkedIn? Not as great. I'm not going to lie to you. The reach you might get is, if I'm happy if I get 50 views, like that's a big day for me, but it's 50 views of people that don't necessarily, I get to know who's viewing on my posts and my content. And I have actually realized it's a whole different audience that I'm able to reach. I like to use, there's a hyperlink function that you can direct people back to either posts or your website or events. And so I'm quite active in making sure that if I've got an event coming up like today, that I can link it back and drive traffic back towards it. Now, the reason that I'm backing it, and I'm hoping LinkedIn will increase the functionality of it, because at the moment, let's just say it's stage one bare basics. You can put a video up there and maybe put a sticker, and that's about it. If you a lot of people create it on other platforms. Like Instagram has some really cool features that make them look pretty funky, and then they bring them across and upload them onto LinkedIn. So I'm hoping that LinkedIn, copies some of those features and brings them across so that we can do everything natively. I find it's a completely different audience, like I said, but it's the consistency. No surprises. The more that you're there, the more that people look for you, and you start to really get, different people. I've found the type of content that works really well is inspirational quotes. They really get the most response. And yeah, it's really interesting that I've tried my hardest. I love company pages, that's my specialty. And you get the option to do it for company pages, and come hell or high water, I cannot make the same work for stories. I have made them just personal photos of me, left no company stuff, the same quotes, different quotes. And I just can't get them to work. And the main problem is, if someone wants to comment on a quote, on a story from your business page, what actually happens is it just sends you to your direct messages, and you have to choose a person that you want to send the message to. So it's, it doesn't go straight to the admins. It's super clunky, which is a real disappointment, because if you have under 5,000 followers on your personal profile, to the best of my knowledge at the moment, you still can't hyperlink and direct people to other places. But on company pages, you get that from ground zero. So it was a real advantage for company pages to be able to use that linking function to drive traffic. But just unfortunately, yeah, look, if anyone's got any tips, please let us know, because I'm keen to know if anyone out there has made stories work for company pages. Because, yeah, I will keep trying, and I'll report back if anything changes. But at this stage, it's a no from me.
Yeah, so I think maybe it's going to be in the future a little bit more important, but it's just one more way for someone to see you. If someone is an Instagram person, or they're going to click on that. So
yeah, you're right.
Do different things, I would think. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and you get to sit at the top of someone's phone for 24 hours. That's why I like it, because my face sits at the top when you log in and have a look at stories, and as more and more people look up. So when you're on your mobile, look to the top of the screen, you'll see the stories across, and you can just scroll and see who else is there. Right. It's a really quick, fun. It's normally much lighter content. It's not all about business. It's about who you are as a person. So there's a lot more fun stuff in there. And I think that's key. Keep it light, keep it fun, keep it, inspirational quotes, definitely for the win. Because we know that people come on to social media in general to be educated, entertained, or inspired. So keep those things in mind with any form of content. And for stories, it's definitely more along the entertained and inspired route.
That's very cool. Yeah, actually, you kind of almost led into that. I think we should just go into content, only because I've been finding, and like I said, I'm new to actually creating. I've been one who always would share articles forever and ever and ever and ever. And I've, in the last, 5 months, started creating a lot of my own content, and it's hard, it's fun, but I think that, go into what you feel about content, because I think a lot of people think that sharing articles is good, and I think LinkedIn takes you down for that. They do not show it to people. So
yeah, look, the whole sharing function on LinkedIn, if my advice to people until it changes, is definitely don't ever press the share button. If you like something, copy, the whole thing and start again on a fresh post, or comment on the original post. Sharing just doesn't work. It kills your reach, and you don't get the engagement. And that's why a lot of people give up. And I think it's a shame, because as we were just talking before, if I create something that someone else thinks is that cool that they're going to share to their actual network, I think that should be really, promoted by LinkedIn, because if they liked it that much to show to their network, it's the kind of content that, people want to see. It's the one, for me, if they just go skating on by, and only press like a couple of times, That doesn't have the same impact for me as if someone takes my actual post and says, I want my network to see this as well. Like, that's the hugest compliment for me. But yeah, apparently LinkedIn and I don't share the same opinions. So, I'm a massive content creator. I love creating my own content. That's been my particular style. And we were talking, as everyone has their own style. So mine's about creating content and attracting people. So I don't do a lot of outreach to people that haven't already commented or interacted with my posts, because that's where I do my networking and my prospecting, I guess, to a degree, is the people that are liking and engaging in my posts. So it does take a bit of effort though, right? It's not easy always to come up with amazing ideas, and you just have to be okay that some posts just don't go as well as you hope. I've had posts that I think they're the most amazing posts, and then I'll do something silly, like I'll post it at 11 a.m. in the morning here, and I know none of my followers are online then, and it crashes. And then I'm like, Michelle, you shouldn't have done that. No matter how good the post is, sometimes it's about the timing, and there's other things out of your control, that may impact that. And, I know that it's better for me to, do it at the early stage of the day so I can pick up all of my American friends, as well, or I have to wait till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon for when Europe wakes up, but 11 o'clock in the middle of the day when both of those guys are sleeping, everyone here's at work. I should know better, but I still do silly things,
I know. Well, we all do. You know how that is. Yeah. And when you, like I said, when you're doing your own content and you're not putting links in, LinkedIn actually rewards you, and they do show the content to more people. So that's why you should be doing your own content. And another thing too, um, polls. Polls are great. LinkedIn shows polls to 3 times more people than your regular content. So I'm trying to do polls more often. I do what I call 3 different types. One is more of a trying to find people and the problems that I can help solve.
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to do kind of an inspirational type of a poll, and then sometimes just a fun one.
Yep. I think it's good to rotate it and try. I know polls get reach, and for some reason I just keep resisting them because I'm finding my feed is clogged with them, and I just don't want to see another. I don't want polls to be successful. I want them to be used in moderation. And my feed at one stage was just poll after poll after poll, and I was like, stop already. So I get that it's popular and you get reach, and there's a part of me that goes, I should just do it for the sake of jumping on that train while it's working, because it's crazy not to. And then there's the other part of me that's like, no one wants another poll. So I've got the devil and angel on each shoulder here most days.
That's how I find, a lot of the people that answer my polls are people that I connect with. And then you talked about, you really only connect with people that comment on your posts. The other way is if they're commenting on your post, most likely they viewed your profile.
Yes.
Well, there's another way to connect with somebody, because, hey, thanks for viewing my profile. I like to connect. So that's another way. It's sort of a more of a warm introduction because they're looking for you.
And, to your point, when you use the poll to actually get some ideas around your business, for instance, if I ask if people are having, issues with managing their company page, for instance, yes or a no, then obviously everyone that says yes would be, potentially a prospect or a client for me, down the track. So you can use them smartly, to really understand who's out there that, is having the same issues that you solve. So I love that idea that you shared, for sure.
Yeah, that's very good. So why don't we talk about company pages, because you do that, and then I'll do my little thing on Sales Navigator and why you should have that instead of premium.
Yeah. Look, I love company pages, and I know I'm in the minority, and I know there's a lot of people out there that think I'm a little bit crazy, but I think the tide's turning. I'm starting to see so many more conversations start around, those kind of things. So, I've got a couple of clubhouse rooms, one that I host with Brenda Meller, and we just talk company pages, full stop. And the amount of people that are coming into that room really curious week after week that are starting to actually see the value. And as I say, it's like, why stand on one leg? You can have personal branding and you can have company branding and make them both work for you. Don't miss out on one at the expense of the other. This isn't an either or situation. This is have both. And so for me, the main issue that I have is, historically company pages have had a content problem and people use them as free advertising, and no one loves ads, right? That's why we're all on Netflix these days. We moved off, or we moved off free to air TV so that we could just have no ads, and this is the same on LinkedIn. No one wants anything that looks like an ad. So the trick with a company page success is to throw your branding and all your marketing that you would use maybe on your website or on, other corporate marketing info, throw it out on LinkedIn. People will just skate on by, even if it looks like an ad, so it's a really fine line between keeping it in line with what you want to put out there for your company and also what's going to work for this platform. And I think it's important that you do what works on the platform.
That's great. Content, so personal content versus company page content. Just touch on that briefly, because it obviously it needs to be different, but like how, give examples.
Well, it should be very similar in nature. Okay, so when you're talking about company page content, everyone has one of these. I'll go the other way. You've got a smartphone. Start taking happy snaps around the office, around the warehouse, when you're out and about doing things. People love seeing behind the scenes. Far outweighs any other type of content that you can put. Again, it needs to be more of a candid snap than a professional photographer. We all stand around the boardroom table and look very professional in front of a whiteboard or anything like that. People they look like stock images when you do that. But if you've got someone, the guy in the forklift that's waving on the way by, the birthday cake, someone giving a presentation, this person celebrating the 10-year anniversary, all those kind of moments that happen in your business, people start to connect and go, that's Susan. She does, she always sends me emails from accounts, or, she chases my invoices. That's what she looks like. She likes that, and then so the next time you're having conversations, when you're doing business, they get to see it. Now, you're not going to get as many likes and comments on a company page. I'm just here to tell you that. If you measure your success by those two things, you will be bitterly disappointed because more than ever, people just watch what's going on. But you're creating online proof of the kind of business. And that can be not just to attract opportunities for your business, but also to attract your, awesome employees. You may have people out there that are considering working for your company, and they're going to go and do their research. This is why TripAdvisor, Google reviews, or the restaurant, Yelp, all those kind of places exist, because we don't do anything anymore without researching to see what other people said. And if you don't think that they're doing that on your business as well, and especially on the world's #1 B2B platform, then you're missing out, because you've got a real opportunity. And if you don't, your competitors will, and that's in your control. So yeah.
Very good. Very good advice. I wouldn't have even thought of that. That's great. Great advice. Love it. So we'll just go into a little bit of Sales Navigator.
Please.
I used to fight it. I'd get it for a month. I'd get rid of it. I'd get it for a month and I'd get rid of it. But I have become a convert, because what it does do for you, especially if you have a lot of contacts, is it takes the busyness of your regular LinkedIn feed and you can bring those people over to Sales Navigator so that you can stay in touch with them. Because like you have, let's just all these people that you want to stay in touch with, but you can't find them or you don't remember, and you can't keep like a list of 5 million people. So what you do is you put them into a list. I'm a big list person in Sales Navigator, and I have a list of people that I've talked to, a list of people that I've met with. I have a list of people that I want to talk to that I haven't set up yet. And however you want to define your lists, and everybody that you put over there into a list goes into that feed. And what's kind of cool about it is that feed's not as busy, and you can slowly go down that feed, and then you see the person and you just hit click, and it just brings LinkedIn up over in a tab there. You can like and comment right there, and then just continue on. So it's really easy to work with.
You know what I love that you've just shared there is LinkedIn can be like a bit down the, you go down the rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland because there's so many shiny things. And for me, I think I've got just under 7,000 followers. And you're right, you can't keep up with all of them. I don't even know if you've got like 85,000 or something like that. Like a lot of these people, like it's impossible. So I love the idea of being able to maybe not get as distracted. I'm feeling I would be more efficient without the little distractions, that can happen, because it's all those little micro distractions where you go, oh, I haven't seen that person for, and then all of a sudden, half an hour disappears and you're like, how did that happen?
Right.
So I like the idea that you've just shared there about it being, a bit more tunnel vision, that you're there to be more effective in your process. So yeah, I might actually have to check it out because I've never used it. I've never used Sales Navigator, even though I've been in sales for 20 years. And I think it's a bit silly of me not to try it.
Try it.
And I don't even know why I haven't tried it. There's no reason. It's just, for me, I've been doing content and that's worked. But, what I'm doing now is, when I have conversations with experts like you, Susan, that say, this is why it can work, I'd be crazy not to listen to that, and go and try it, because I value your opinion. You're an expert in that particular space. So I promise you after this I'm going to go and try it, right? But the trick is you got to kind of try some company pages along the way too.
I totally will. I get it now. I'm gonna start taking pictures all over my house.
Yeah, because people relate to it, right? Like whilst even if you're a solopreneur, you're still, for me, I'm Michelle, and I also own a business called Good Trading Co. And whilst it is, just me and I work with other contractors, at the same time, I'm not my business. It has its own values and things that it puts out and stands for. And me as a person, I have my own values and things that I stand for and enjoy. And so there is a lot of crossover, but at the same time, we're not identical twins. So.
No, and we both have, like you said, different expertise. And like I said, my thing on LinkedIn is that like it should be manageable for people that need to be manageable. You don't need to spend all day.
Yeah.
So that's why bringing people over, it also helps you stay in touch with them, because like that pile that I have of people that I want to meet with, hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a while. You know what I mean? You can totally talk to them.
And you can put in like organizational charts and the like, can't you, in Navigator? I haven't played with it, but there was a feature I thought I read about one time. So you could actually see a hierarchy within companies, which I
Yes.
thought was kind of cool
Yeah, that's the
as
I
well.
don't,
So you could really have a map of who's who in the zoo. Like, I love that idea.
well, yeah, if you're someone that goes after larger companies, it's great for that, because it does do that. I don't do that. I don't use that feature as much because I do much smaller companies. But yes, if your target or the people that you want to talk to are in larger companies, you have to have it. There's
Yeah,
so
because
many
I'm thinking
others.
if you can't go over, you go under. You can't go under, you go rounds. In sales, it's the tenacity to keep going until you find someone that can open that door for you in these big companies, because
Yep.
it's often not the person that's has the job title that you think. It's, it's a bit of a zigzag. Go over here, no, speak to that person, no, come back over here. So, yeah, I'll definitely have a play around with it and
Yeah.
come back and let you know how it goes.
Yeah, you can also, obviously, it has all the filters, and you can do lists of people that, if you want to talk to a dentist, you can run a list of dentists. You do it that way as well. I mean, that is definitely, it's a prospecting tool, but like I said, it has that feature of being able to stay in touch with people, which I think is great.
No, I mean, that's what this is about, regardless of which way we go around it, it's about maintaining relationships. This isn't a set and forget kind of scenario. If only it was that easy, we would all be doing it. It actually takes effort. And people often think, how do you get clients from, creating content or sending messages? Well, it's actually the stuff you can't see that I'm doing in the direct messages and commenting on other people's stuff and all that extra effort where I actually go out to, really support other people. And that's what you're talking about there, maintaining relationships, key to LinkedIn success. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like, one of my coaches, he calls it up. It's a pyramid. It's like you have all these silos. You have, your content, you have your messaging, you have, all the different pieces of it. So
Yeah, and you'll always have one that you kind of gravitate towards, and you'll find naturally you enjoy it more, and probably that makes it more consistent. But I think it's the same as when I talk to people about personal branding versus company pages. If you do too much of one thing, you miss out on potentially other opportunities and clients if you're too like narrow focus. So I'm all about
Yeah,
the niche, but at the same time, if you're a one trick pony, you're not going to actually, get all of those opportunities out there, because humans are unique. We're all different, and we have to kind of, work through some of those challenges. So that's what I love about it.
I know.
I, I think if it stayed the same, I'd be bored and I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think there's more changes to come, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I think end of summer we should be expecting some more for company pages, and I assume that LinkedIn's probably going to be, doing more on other parts of the LinkedIn platform. So I'm curious to see where it's going with creator mode in general. Not it's been switched on, and we're all sitting there going, yeah, the world didn't change. But I think it's part of a bigger plan, which I'm keen to kind of understand more about how we can all utilize it more effectively. Because
That'd be
do
great.
you? I don't know about you, but I don't like the follow first button. How do you feel? Do you prefer the connect button or the follow button, or don't mind either way?
So I used to feel as though I wanted the connect button because but I, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be a guru. I don't need 30,000 people in my first connections. I need the people in my first connections that I want to stay in touch with. So for people to follow me and to follow you, I think might be okay. I'm getting
Mm.
better with it because I did put creator mode on, and I have to redo my video, but hey, it's baby steps, it's about
Look,
progress, right?
it's a never-ending refinement. If you ever think that you can perfect LinkedIn, I would run away from anyone that says that they've perfected it or got
Yeah,
it mastered, because it changes, your followers change, the way other people use it. Like, who would have thought 18 months ago it was like the gold rush became LinkedIn? Like, the whole planet came on there. No one could have predicted that. I've been using it for quite a while now. I've never seen anything like it. It's a change in who's coming, health and wellness, and the coaches in that space and the educators in that space, huge amounts of them now on the platform that I don't ever recall seeing prior to that. It was a lot more white collar, traditional office space type of people on the platform. But now, from yoga teachers to nutritionists and everywhere in between, it's really awesome, because I think there's such a depth to the kinds of people that are embracing LinkedIn now. So
great.
yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
exciting.
All right. Well, I think we'll end here. We can definitely come back and we can talk about so many more things. So we'll have
Oh
to
man.
continue the conversation. So if anybody wants to reach out to Michelle, let us know how we want to get in touch.
Look, if you come and find me on the platform, I'm Michelle J. Raymond, because there are so many amazing Michelle Raymonds out there. Shout out to all of those. So if you want to find me, I'm Michelle J. Raymond. And I'd love it if you'd come across and follow my company page, Good Trading Co. And that's where I share all of my, best tips on how you can get the most out of a company page to grow your business, especially if you're a small business, particularly passionate about helping them grow. So yeah, please come and find me on there. That'd be awesome. And thank you, Susan, for letting me come and be on the square table.
Yes. So I have to tell you that this is the funny story. So I was thinking I want it to be, what is it? I can't do round table. I don't know why I can't, because yours is the round table.
Yeah, so we have the LinkedIn roundup.
Round up.
So,
All right. So it's
yeah,
like
so we have the
I was thinking round table, and I'm like, oh, that sounds ewy. So I'm like, we're square because we're different.
oh my God, 756 million people on this platform. Every time I come up with what I think is the most amazing creative idea, and I go and check, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do now? So I feel your pain.
I know, it's funny. Anyways, we're going to sign off,
Awesome.
everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll all be in touch, and we'll be back together soon.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right, I'm ending. Bye-bye, everybody. All right, it's ending. Now, the funny thing about this is kept telling me LinkedIn wasn't live, but we're live on Facebook and YouTube. That's weird.